I don't know what it was that made me wake up, but I did. I rolled over and noticed my wife Kimmy wasn't in bed. I assumed she was in the bathroom or getting water or something of the sort. I kind of half dozed off again a few times, but after a little while, Kimmy still wasn't back. I looked at my phone and noticed it was 3:51 a.m. I got out of bed, threw on a t-shirt, and walked out of the bedroom. The bathroom was dark and lifeless. I walked down the rest of the dark hallway and into the dark kitchen. No Kimmy there either. I walked back to the bedroom and found her phone to still be on the bed where she keeps it every night. More confused than worried at this point, I walked back down the hallway and into the family room where the garage connects to, and confirmed that her car was still in the garage. I turned the light on in the family room and ran my hands over my face, wondering where in the world she had gone. I turned around, and through the sliding glass doors that led to the backyard, I saw movement outside. I turned the lights off to better see outside, and to my surprise, there she was. Even weirder than her being out there in the first place was what she was doing. She was digging. At first glance I could see 5 holes. I wasn't sure of how deep, and she was currently working on the 6th. I stepped outside and called her name, to which I got no response. It was cold outside, very cold, and she was only wearing what she wore to bed, a t-shirt and a pair of shorts. I called her name again as I slowly walked towards her. She just kept digging as if I wasn't even there. I walked a wide perimeter around her since I was unsure of what she was doing. I guess I subconsciously was unsure of what she could do. When I could finally see her face, a chill ran down my already cold spine. Her eyes were completely rolled back in her head, to the point where I could only see white. She was breathing as heavily as I'd ever seen another person breathe, as if she were exhausted beyond the limits of a human being. Even so, she just kept on digging. I took a look at the other holes, and they were about 1.5 feet wide and maybe 3 feet deep. There wasn't anything in them. It was as if she was digging just to dig. In the time it took to look at the other holes, Kimmy must have finished the one she was working on, because she went back to one of the already finished holes and started filling it back in. I asked her what she was doing, but I of course got no answer. I stood there and watched as she filled in each and every last hole with the dirt she'd just taken out of them. Tried as I might have, she never acknowledged my presence. When she was done, she set the shovel against the house and walked back to the sliding glass door while I followed a safe distance behind. When she got to the sliding glass door, she turned around and muttered something I didn't quite catch. I asked her what she said, but she just continued inside, closing the door and locking it behind her. I pounded on the door for her to let me in, but she just walked back towards our bedroom. I ran around the house and used the keypad to the garage to get back inside. I shuffled down the hall to our bedroom to find Kimmy sleeping in our bed, as if she'd been there the whole night. I stood there for a short while, trying to wrap my mind around what I'd just seen before getting back into bed. I laid there for a while before finally passing back out, and nothing else strange happened in the interim. When I woke up the next morning, Kimmy wasn't in bed, but I could hear music from her phone coming from the kitchen. I got up and walked to the kitchen to find her cooking eggs on the stove. I walked up behind her and gave her a kiss on the cheek. She told me good morning and asked how I slept. I told her probably better than her, in an intentionally leading tone. She asked what I meant, and I asked her if she remembered anything from the night before, which of course she didn't. I took her to the backyard and showed her the freshly filled in holes, and explained that around 3 or so the night before she had in fact dug them. Naturally she didn't believe me, and thought I was playing a prank on her. It took some convincing, but eventually she believed me when I told her that it was indeed she who dug the holes. I explained the entire event to her in detail, and she was visibly shaken by the retelling. She assured me that she had never been a sleepwalker before, and that she had no idea why she would have done anything like that. We essentially brushed it off as a very unsettling, yet ultimately harmless, spontaneous occurrence of sleepwalking. The rest of our day went by, with nothing out of the ordinary happening. We went to bed that night, and I had essentially all but forgotten about the strangeness of the night prior. Even so, my sleep schedule was a bit off. I found myself waking up every hour or so. Once again, I woke up around 3:45 and noticed Kimmy wasn't in bed. I immediately got up and looked out her bedroom window, and there she was, digging holes again. From what I could tell from as far away as I was, she had 4 done and was working on her 5th. I get up and go outside. I again tried calling her name as I approached, of course to no avail. Once again her eyes were rolled back in her head. It was like a replay of the previous night that I'd just gotten to a little bit earlier, only the holes were in different spots. I had finally had enough, and didn't want her out in the cold anymore. So I grabbed the shovel as she sunk it into the ground, stopping her from digging any further. It was then she let out the most blood-curdling scream I'd ever heard in my life. In all honesty, it didn't even sound like it was her screaming. It was high-pitched yet guttural, ear-shattering and sharp. As soon as I let go of the shovel, she stopped, took a quick, shallow breath, and resumed shoveling. I went in and put on a sweatshirt and waited outside for her to be done. She again dug 6 holes and filled them back in, just like the night before. I hopped up and beat her to the door when she set the shovel against the house and began walking back towards the inside. When she again stopped and muttered something, but it was too quiet for me to hear. I thought I heard the words, "find you," though. When we got in the hallway, I was so frustrated, worried, and confused that I blocked the way for her to walk any further. I pleaded with her to wake up, but had no success. She just kept trying to walk past me, and she got back in bed while I followed closely behind. She turned over to face me, and with her eyes closed, said, "I'm gonna find it before he gets us." I asked what she meant, but she never answered me. Today went by fine. I explained what had happened last night, but she of course had no idea what I was talking about. We're going to stay up tonight since it's New Year's, and I'm going to see if it happens again. I really hope it doesn't.